Hello, welcome to Martinmade. My name's Stephanie, and today I have a few tips and tricks for organizing kids' puzzles and kids' games. I also have an extra tip on organizing kids' toys. I love having puzzles and games around the house, but the one thing I can't stand about them is all the pieces that can end up everywhere. You have a game and it has small pieces and it ends up all over the place. My mom, one of the things she could not stand was Monopoly money, because we'd get into the games and we'd find the money and we'd use it as we played house. And then when we'd go to play Monopoly or we'd go to play another game that had play money, we wouldn't have the money that we needed to play the game. But I have found a way to keep those things together a little easier. So the very first thing are puzzles. Puzzles can be a pain when you get to the very last piece and you find that you're missing one piece of the puzzle and you have no clue where it is. The way that I found when I taught kindergarten to keeping puzzle pieces together, and more so just keeping them, knowing what pieces went with what puzzle, was to assign each puzzle with a letter. This puzzle has the letter A, and all I did was mark the back of the box with a Sharpie, and then you take your puzzle piece, your blank puzzle piece, and you take your Sharpie on all the puzzle pieces. You're going to write the letter A on there. And you're just going to mark it on every single piece. Make sure that if it's a glossy finish like this puzzle is, make sure you let it have enough time to dry so it doesn't smear. And then you just put it all back in the box. Then when you find a puzzle piece laying around, you know exactly where to find it because all your boxes are marked. If you don't have a box and you just have a random puzzle that the box is all torn apart, put that in a Ziploc bag and mark the name of the puzzle, and then cut out the picture that goes with it and tuck it inside here. Make sure you write the letter on the bag, and then you have a puzzle piece. Honestly, I found this the easiest way to store my puzzle pieces because a lot of times those little boxes would tear apart. Now this puzzle box is really sturdy, so I don't have to worry about that. But storing them in Ziploc bags, actually with the picture cut out from the box, was the easiest way I found storing them in kindergarten when I taught kindergarten. Now for games, the next thing that you have games like this. When, at least with my son, we have this game and it has a bunch of these little pieces. Now, Silas, his games are stored in his bedroom and he has access to them. The only thing I don't like about having them in his room right now is the fact that he can get a hold of all these balls and he can spread them all over the place. Now, when you have a game like this, you have a ton of pieces and it's like, I don't know if I have all of these pieces or not. So when you first have the game, look at your instructions and find out how many of these pieces are there. And I am going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to write on the bottom of them. I'm going to write the number 1 and then a dash and then however many pieces there are altogether. So it'll look something similar to this. So if there's 18 pieces of that kind, then you write a 1-18. And that tells you that this is number 2 of 18 or 1 of 18. And you do that with all of those little pieces. And then what I like to do is I like to take and put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I will store them in the Ziploc bag because right now my son cannot open Ziploc bags, and when you start getting into the age where they can open them, then you start running into needing to maybe store the bag somewhere else. Or maybe your kids are great with the game pieces, but my son likes to spread these all over the place. So I'm gonna put them in a Ziploc bag and then store them inside the case. You can also take and store the ones in the Ziploc bag in maybe a box somewhere else, so that the only thing you have are the bigger pieces that are not as easy to lose. So that is the way that I store my games. The next little tip that I have for organizing kids' toys are things like sets. We got some sets for Silas's birthday. They're this kind of thing. And Silas absolutely loves them. He got 4 of them for his birthday. He got an airport and a police station. He got a little racetrack. And then he got a construction set. The only thing is, he doesn't have room. We don't have room to store these in his bedroom. They came in some nice bins that were given as well, but he doesn't have room to store them in those in his bedroom right now. And we don't have room to store the bins in this, in my plaything. So what I have done is I took all the toys out except for certain kinds of toys. Like he likes his little Hot Wheels cars and stuff like that. So I kept a bin of that. And then I switched out his toys because I try to every maybe 4 to 6 months, I try to rotate his toys so that he has fresh toys all the time. So after his birthday, we had moved all of these sets, these play sets, up into the garage, and we set them aside for a bit because he had a lot of other toys that he had gotten for his birthday, and these we didn't necessarily want to pull them out at the time. And so now is the time where we're pulling them out. So I took all of those other toys that were in his bin here, and I went through them, got rid of some, and then packed away some others so that later on I can pull those out and there'll be new toys to him again. And we put all of the tracks together in here. But with that being said, I now have to sort through all of them to try to find what track piece goes with what set. So what I did is I went through and I marked all of them with a label maker. If you really wanted to get particular about this, you could do something like this, where it says airport and then 1 of 18. There's 18 pieces of track in that set. So this is 1 of 18. And if you're going through and you see that you don't have one of the numbers, you know you're missing one. But I wanted to do it this way. You can use a Sharpie. You don't have to use a label maker, but I did choose to use I chose to use a label maker because eventually, when Silas grows out of this, I will probably resell this. So I thought a label maker, I can easily peel off the label and sell it, all of that as one set. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And for those of you who are new to this channel, you can hit that red subscribe button down below. For those who have any more tips and tricks for organizing puzzles and games and toys, please let me know down below. I'm always looking for a new way to organize things and a better way to organize things. So just leave it in the comments down below. I will love to read those and see what you have to say. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.